Hello and welcome. Happy summer solstice. My name is Sabrina. Keep your hand in your skirt podcast. Today's podcast is dedicated to the summer solstice. I want to share with you information that landed last night during dream time, as well as what happened when I went in and had a conversation with my multidimensional self about what exactly that dream meant and how can it be of benefit for the now frequencies. I really believe this solstice, I am using this solstice as a belief system, as a permission slip to know there are new frequencies here, to know that there is more support available. And what happened in Dreamtime in my conversation is going to be proof and evidence of that. So, first of all, before I get started, I listened to Magenta Pixie, and she talked about everything is getting upgraded, all of the crystals, everything is being updated. I am a fan of stones and crystals. For me, they are intelligent, infinite beings that can hold space, frequency, and communicate data. But she said that amethyst in particular they're all getting an upgrade, but in particular, the amethyst right now are receiving a special quotient of light or frequency. And so if you wear them, have them on your body this week, it would really be of benefit. So yesterday I went in and I got this amethyst and this amethyst ring. So I am encouraging everyone, wear your amethyst if you would like to buy into that concept that they're here to support and help us. Let me tell you what happened last night in my dream time. In my dream, it was crystal clear, and the dream happened early this morning, maybe around 5 or something. In the dream, there was a room of, I'm going to say kindergartners or first graders, and there was a song that was sung about the emotional hat. And so basically what happened is when a child was feeling, maybe they were acting out, right? Maybe they were being what we would label as misbehaving or inappropriate, or if a child was like quiet and sullen and like withdrawn, whatever the situation was, they would use this hat and they would say, emotional hat, emotional hat. And then in the dream, there was a girl named Cindy. And so Cindy was like feeling really quiet and withdrawn, and nobody knew what was going on with her. So they said, Cindy, let's have the emotional hat, the emotional hat. And then Cindy got to sit in the chair, and then the emotional hat went on Cindy's head. And then they sang this kind of song about emotional hat, help Cindy know what she's feeling. Emotional hat, help Cindy understand how she's feeling. And then something in the song about like you could share with the class what you were feeling once you understood it, or you could keep it to yourself once you understood. And this was everything, right? This was everything, because what I saw happen in the dream time and then what happened when I channeled or communicated with my multidimensional self, I am seeing easy, simple, practical tools on how to educate, teach, promote emotional health. Emotional health. In order to have emotional maturity, you have to have emotional health. How do we get emotional health? We get emotional health by recognizing, validating, seeing, and understanding all of the different emotions. Remember, emotions are here to serve us. Our emotions are not the enemy. Emotions are not the ally. Emotions are data. Emotions are information. So when they could teach these young children, right? If Johnny was acting out and being crazy, like instead of shaming Johnny or saying, no, Johnny, we don't do that. That's bad, like making Johnny feel, right? Because you're teaching him on some level that there's something wrong with him because he's got these emotions. So instead, then they would put Johnny in the chair and sing the song, emotional hat. And then once Johnny can understand, like, oh, he's feeling left out, or, oh, maybe he's feeling jealous because he's not getting included, or maybe he's feeling invisible, so he's trying to find a way to be seen, right? So when you can start to help people identify with what they're feeling, then their behaviors make more sense. And so it's not to justify bad behavior, but it's to understand, right? So it seems kind of like with Western medicine. What does Western medicine do? I know I'm on a rant, but this really bugs me. In general, Western medicine treats the symptom. So if you have a headache, basic example, you have a headache, they give you medicine, aspirin, ibuprofen to cancel the headache. Eastern medicine in particular goes in and says, why do you have a headache? What's going on that's creating the headache? Does it have something to do with your food? Does it have something to do with your emotional state of being? Does it have something to do with stress in your nervous system, right? Eastern medicine in general goes to the cause, not treat the symptom. So what if with all of these emotions, what if so many of us are so limited and stunted emotionally because we have not had the tools or the training or the acceptance to let the emotions help us, support us. So when we are feeling crazy or we are feeling angry or we are feeling needy and attached, what is really going on? What happens if we could get to the underneath that, find out what's really going on, what's really happening, and then look at that emotion from an honest, curious, supportive place. Instead of, you're behaving like this, so now I'm going to judge you, I'm going to shame you, I'm going to make you feel even, bad, more bad, that's not a word. I'm going to make you feel worse about yourself. And then that teaches us, most of us suppress our emotions. Many adults are so out of touch with what they feel, right? We have basic emotions. You're happy, you're sad, you're mad. Right? There's not a whole bunch of colors in this color crayon. I mean, there are hundreds of colors available. There are hundreds of emotions available, but most of us have narrowed it down in order to cope or function in society without being judged and ridiculed. Right? And then unintentionally we do that. We don't like when people are angry, right? My former partner, he used to be able to get angry so fast, and that scared me. So I wanted him to be different, right? Don't do that. Don't be an angry person so quick, right? You're scaring me. It's making me uncomfortable. Your emotional state is making me uncomfortable. So you need to change in order for me to be happy. See, when you stop and look at it from a broader, wider perspective, it's just ridiculous. Okay, so let's get back to summer solstice because I'm on a rant today. So back to summer solstice. What was dream time and what is the field sharing with me? Dream time was just showing me we can help, we can teach, we can allow the emotions to be seen, felt, understood, and then that can support us so we can think more clearly, then we can make better choices. So healthy understanding the emotions is the fundamental healthy way. And then that will lead us to emotional maturity. So we're not reacting. We're not getting triggered. When we have emotional maturity, we have the ability to see and honor what we're feeling, as well as hold the other stream of what do I want to do with this? How do I want to respond, right? What do I want to say now? How do I want to show up now? So not hiding, not suppressing, not being in denial. Goodbye, denial. Summer solstice is speaking so loud and clear to me, and they are saying goodbye, denial. Goodbye, denial. We no longer need to use you as a coping skill to avoid these emotions. Goodbye, denial. I am able to be fully supported with my emotions, and then I am able to bring in emotional maturity and choose how I'm going to handle these emotions, how I'm going to respond with these emotions. And so today, then, when I was talking to my multidimensional self, I'm like, okay, this would be so good for children, right? To really allow these emotions to really help them. You have the emotional hat, right? It was so cute and so easy and so practical. So I asked my multidimensional self, I'm like, Tell me how does this help us already existing adults? Right? Like, how does I didn't get the emotional hat when I was in kindergarten. So how does this dream help me as an adult 50-some-year-old self? How does that help me? And my multidimensional self showed me I can do the same thing. When I'm having an emotion, I can energetically ask the emotional hat to sit on my head and say, right? Like, emotional hat, help Sabrina know what she's feeling. Right? Because that will serve me. And I want to just give you this most beautiful example. Yesterday, I've got a lot of family stuff happening with my siblings. And I've been like, I don't understand it. I'm not like sad and I'm not mad. But like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it, right? So I call my son and I'm telling him, like, this is what's happening and this is what's being like, and I'm like, I know I feel really, really terrible, but like, I don't know why. Like, am I mad at them? Am I sad? Am I in grief? And my son, right? Like, when you're on the outside, it's so easy to look in, right? When you're not emotionally invested in the story. But he looked in at the story and he's like, Mom, everyone is saying something different. Like, this person is saying this based on whatever, and this person is saying, and it looks like they're all on the same topic, but they're not. And he showed me, like, everyone is saying something different about the same thing. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, you're right. Like on one hand, right? Like, on one hand, for example, they say, let's not text or email because we have misunderstandings. So then somebody says, okay, let's have a meeting. And then everyone texts and emails what they think about the meeting. So it's like, what? Like, are we not texting and emailing because we don't want misunderstandings? Or are we texting and emailing and continue? Like, it's confusing, right? So when my son just showed me so clearly with no attachment, like, it's confusing because all of the pieces of information are contradicting, not all of them, but a lot of the information is contradicting each other. So like, I didn't know about the emotional hat yesterday when this was happening, but luckily being able to talk to my son and using, like, having him like help me process like what the heck I was feeling. Like, but that once I understood, like, oh, I'm just really confused. Like, what I'm feeling is so much confusion and not knowing, like, are we going to the left? Are we going to the right? Or like, how am I supposed to have a point of view when I'm not even on the same page as anybody else? Like, what? So today then the emotional hat showed me, like, as adults, right, as already adults learning to reprogram and rewire my brain so I can show up different, I can be healthier, I can be more in alignment with the truth of who I am. So my multidimensional self showed me, like, when you have different things show up in your life, intentionally put on the emotional hat and ask for the support of the emotional hat to help you understand and identify what you're feeling. And then you have more choices available once you understand, like, oh, this is what I'm feeling. Like yesterday, oh, I'm feeling confused. Like, that opened up the space, because instead of like reacting to all these different things, all of a sudden, like, I got a clearer, broader understanding. And then I had more choices. I had more possibilities of how I want to process going forward. So what if summer solstice is really, right? Like, I feel so excited. This energy and this possibility of moving forward, of becoming emotionally more mature, of becoming more available and responsible to our whole self, our multidimensional self, all of the emotions inside the color box. As we step into that, as we grow, as we evolve, like, I can see how we really will become a society, a tribe that is in harmony, that is in the unified field, because we're all going to be coming from such a more mature emotional place that will be able to not only hold space for me and my emotions, that will allow me to hold space for you and your emotions without shaming you or attacking you or being triggered by you. see, so I can see like that. This is how we become like, because I know at some point we're going to go back to the unified field, but I've wondered like, okay, like society or the collective consciousness is here and oneness is way the hell over here. Like, how are we going to get back to oneness? So I could see from my dream, I could see from the information, I feel with this frequency of the summer solstice, we are receiving more and more tools and tips on how we can evolve and grow to this emotional mature place for ourselves and this allowing for others. So happy summer solstice. I hope you are having a great day, and I look forward to visiting with you the next time.